Well, welcome back to Finding America. It's Thursday, and that means I finally get to play my favorite song. It's so great to see you back here on my channel. Before we get started, John, a subscriber from Michigan, was kind enough to send me a picture of himself wearing his favorite Finding America t-shirt, and I thought I'd share it with y'all. Well, thanks so much for that great picture, John. I'm really glad you're enjoying the t-shirt. Now, John also has a channel on YouTube. It's called Metal Detecting Michigan, and I really enjoy watching his videos. Now, I'm putting a link to John's channel down below in the video description, and I hope you go visit him and subscribe to him. Now, if you'd like to send a picture of yourself wearing your favorite Finding America t-shirt, you can do so by sending it to the email findingamerica01@gmail.com. Now, this episode's going to be pretty much a straight-up metal detecting video. 2 guys, 2 detectors, and what we end up finding. Now, in this hunt, that day was crazy hot, and the ground was like concrete almost every single place we went to. But we just had to get out and do some detecting, and despite the conditions, we kept at it and made some good finds. Well, Chris called me over. He said he got something pretty good.
Something neat.
Cool.
Well, I got this weedy, just a 40 weedy.
Well, that's neat.
Pretty close to it, and then that's a token.
Yep, sure is.
Trade, what does it say? This token has no cash or trade value. Well, it does to me. Amusement only. That's a cool one.
Yeah, let me get that. Yeah, I've done quite a few of these. What these were, this was a bit of gambling. The stores would have these machines, and you could feed a penny in and get one of these tokens. And sometimes it would say, good for a 5-cent pack of gum, or something like that, and they would be able to redeem it at the store. And sometimes it would be one of these, where it basically says, you lost. But for metal detectors, that's a win, because these date back to the 30s and 40s. So it's a great find, man.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a challenge today. The ground is absolutely like concrete. We're having to chip our spines out of it.
Terrible.
But I got a 37 and hitting on 40, and I knew it was going to be something really big, but it's kind of cool. It's a pocket-sized license plate. So someone folded it up pretty darn well. So just for fun, I'm going to unfold it when I get home. And if it's anything unusual, I will definitely let you see it right now, actually. Yeah, Chris came up with something. What'd you get, man?
I'm not sure what it is yet. I was thinking play money. Yeah. It's at the feel of it, but it only says 25 on one side. Huh. And then over here, it's got an F showing through, and then a circle. There's some kind of dots. Maybe it is some variant of play money, but that's still kind of neat.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chris said he got a coin.
Took some scratching, but it's a buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Can just barely make it out. I think it's a 27.
Sweet. What's the other side look like? Nice.
Nice chocolate buffalo. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I got a V a couple weeks ago, but nice.
Very cool. Well, Chris and I are at a public park. It's actually the only place we could find where the ground could accept a digger. I mean, it is bad today. I needed a hammer just to chisel it out. But I got a 12 signal on the Equinox. And I said, well, what the heck, you know? See if it's a nickel. Was not expecting this at all. But check it out. I found a complete Burnside cartridge. Civil War. Couldn't believe it. They're hard to find complete, and this one almost didn't make it. It's got a crack right down there, but you can see where it's been fired. And These are really hard to find. Usually they're ate up pretty good, but as you can see, look at this dirt. It just comes out in clumps where you have to just chip it out. So I'm very glad I found that. Well, I am just sweating to death here, but I got a nice signal. I got a 17, it was going up to 18. I dug down about 3-4 inches, and I know what that is. That is a dog tag. I pull it out and see. Well, there it is. That's a City of Morristown dog tag. Very cool. And it looks like a 1947. I do not have that year. So that's a great find. I am very happy to have found that. Well, I tell you what, we might be onto something here. I'm starting to get some more Civil War stuff. Got a 20 on the Equinox dug down, and I'll show it to you just the way I saw it. That is a Spencer cartridge, and it's in pretty darn good shape. So there you go. Spencer cartridge and Burnside cartridge. Both of them, I believe they're cavalry rounds. And this, actually we're right in the path of a major artillery and cavalry conflict during the Civil War. And I have found a Williams cleaner in this part earlier this year. So, but this is starting to become a little more concentrated. So hopefully we find some lead and maybe a button or something. That'd be kind of cool. So I was getting a 14 on the Knox again, and I dug down, and it's probably 5-6 inches. Got another Civil War era cartridge shell.
They're all different.
Yeah.
So weird.
I don't know what this one is, but I tell you what, it's 3 different ones, and I am on a site of a running battle with the cavalry, so I think they were running and shooting. So
that might have been pistol. That looks like 44 size.
Yeah, that could be. And Chris came up to check out this cartridge shell, and he got something pretty cool.
That was kind of neat. I guess that's one plus of having it so dry. It's got 3 coins that I can see. One of them's 1960 or something, but I don't know if I even want to bust it open, to be honest with you.
No, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, neat display
I think
piece.
you need to put that in most unusual at the club meeting.
Yeah, I bet you it'll stay rock solid.
Yeah. Wow. Gives me the meaning to a coin ball.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's cool pretty looking. Cool. That is cool. Well, that was a serious, brutal day of hunting, but we did have some fun, and we still managed to bring home a few keepers. Now, before we get into the second hunt of this video, I just want to take a few seconds to thank everyone that has been using the Finding America links to shop on the Killico website. And every single sale, no matter what the amount, helps support the channel Finding America. And your response has just been amazing, and I just want to let you know it's also greatly appreciated. Well, despite the never-ending record high temperatures and the fact that we haven't had rain in 2 months, I just had to get out and do some detecting somewhere. So I headed once again to my favorite dig-it-all spot. Now, I've been digging there a lot lately because it's one of the very few spots that I can actually get a digger into the ground, and the finds, they just keep coming. Well, there's one downside to hunting this spot. It's right next to a very busy intersection, and I'm pretty much the only entertainment for people while they're waiting for their light to change. And despite wearing my headphones, I swear I can hear people saying, "Dude's crazy." Now, I may be crazy hunting out there in that heat, but little do they know, I was making some pretty cool finds. Well, I am out here using the Equinox 800 I got from Killico again. Can't recommend this detector high enough. It's just an amazing machine. So if you're interested in learning more about it, I have a link in the video description down below. You can check it out there. Now, I got a 12 on this signal and dug down about 5 inches, and I can see it, so I just went ahead and grabbed the camera. There you go. It appears I have an old spoon. I haven't even pulled it out yet. That's pretty nice. Dang. I tell you, this place, it does never know what's going to come out of the hole. That's really cool. Nice old spoon. We'll get that cleaned up. But Now I know some of you asked me what kind of settings and program I'm using on this one. Now this area has a lot of trash and the signals are just everywhere. So I'm running Park 2 and I run that in a 5-tone. I've got my threshold up to around 6 because I like to hear a threshold when it nulls out over anything. Recovery speed, I've got it up at 7. I've got real fast recovery speed. I'm not worried about depth because the ground's so dry anyway. We're not going to get incredible depth like we would if it was wet, but I want that 7 recovery speed just to get in between all these signals. There's so many out here. And I'm running iron bias at 2 because there are some nails, but I don't want to totally let the iron mask anything, so I'm just running at 2. That's pretty much it. I got another 12 signal, and it was kind of faint. It was pretty far down there too. I dug down and check it out. It is crazy. I have never dug any utensils in this field, and today the first signal was a spoon, and the second signal, another spoon. That is crazy. So I thought I would show it to you. It's got some age to it as well. And so far, 2 spoons. That's crazy. So, still hunting out in this field. Was getting a real mixed high tone from 28 to 31. Had to dig down about 9 inches. And first thing I popped out was this. That's part of an old, it's probably 40s, 50s, formerly chrome molding from a car. And then underneath that I was still getting a signal, and there's another die cast piece that was once chrome. That's going to be another 40s or 50s molding. Now this field that I hunt in, my favorite dig-it-all spot I call, it was a home to a very early 1900s service station and gas station, and also a very early car dealership. So that accounts for some of the car parts that I find out here. But it also had Victorian homes, so that accounts for the compacts and all the personal items too. So it's a great place to dig, and there's just stuff everywhere. Well, next thing was giving me a real nice high tone. I dug down for a little while, and then it popped out, and I was like, get out. You just don't find these this way very often. Check this out. Usually you only find half of these, but it's an old compact. You can see the broken mirror. The mirror was up here. The makeup was down here. You can see it's got tiny ribbed lines, vertical lines right there. That is awesome. I usually do not find a whole one. So I'll get this cleaned up and set it aside and take it home, and we'll clean it up and see what it turns out to be. Well, the next thing was giving me a pretty nice high tone. It was ringing in at 21, and that was pretty awesome. I dug down 7 inches and pulled out that. At first I thought, nothing much, right? But it's actually a bangle. It's a bracelet, and it sort of has a rope texture on the inside. It's got this pattern on the outside. Pretty cool. Appears to be copper. So honestly, I've never found a bangle before. Pretty cool. It was a little bent up. I straightened it out when I got it out of the hole. But I like it. That's pretty cool. Well, next thing was 21, 22. Dug down and it popped out of the hole down there, about 6-7 inches down. I don't know what it is, but it looked kind of interesting, so I grabbed the camera. Let's pull it out. Huh. Yeah, I still don't know what it is. Let's see. Oh man, look at that. It's a Scotty dog. What the heck is that? Oh wow, what a fancy border around it. That is so awesome. I see it on the other side. Boy, I'm not sure what this is. Huh. That is cool though. It's got a little Scotty dog on it. I'll tell you what, let me rinse it off, brush it off, and I'll be right back. Well, this thing turned out to be pretty interesting. It's got the Scotty dog here, It's got that on the top, little opening. Down here on the bottom gives a clue here now. And basically what this was the match safe. It says Match King, Chicago, US, patent pending on the bottom. On the other side, it's pretty cool too. It's got this shield on it. So hopefully that's coming through for you guys. It's hard to tell. It's hot, it's bright, and dry and dusty. But this is some type of a match holder, and I think you struck it down this little channel on the side. I'm guessing. But I'm gonna have to do some research here. Now that was the very first Match King lighter I'd ever dug up. So I didn't know a whole lot about them. I did a little bit of research into them. And I couldn't find a whole lot, but I did find out that they were introduced at the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. And they were an instant success, especially with women. They really appreciated the small size, and they had such a huge variety of designs available on them. They really were an amazing little invention. You just put a little bit of lighter fluid into the well inside the lighter, and it had a stick with a magnesium tip and a wick, and you just put that down and screwed it down into the well. So when you needed a light, you just unscrewed it, pulled it out, and struck it on that groove that's on the side of the lighter. I tell you, it's actually such a cool little piece of American ingenuity. Really neat to find, and I'm glad I found this one. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. I was just glad to be able to get out and make a few finds to share with you guys despite the conditions. Now please, don't go away just yet. I have some very cool historical photos coming up in about 7 seconds that I'd love to share with you guys. And remember, history is what makes that find a real treasure. And I cannot wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.